Randy LeBaron from Albion, New York. He's sharing the gospel message, one cup of coffee at a time.
Good morning. Welcome to this episode of Refill with Randy. Let's grab the bull by the horns and start this day right together. Hey friends, it's good to be back with you. As you can tell from the video up front, I've been on a bit of an adventure while I was away. That was taken at the Houston Rodeo. I had a fantastic opportunity to go there with my cousin Denise. I spent a few days with her in Houston, and it was great catching up. We hadn't seen each other since 1998 at our grandfather's funeral. And so it was nice to be able to make that contact. But prior to going there, I went to Dallas. And I was there for the Called and Missioned Men's Conference. This was the first of its kind, a men's conference for CareNet. For those that don't know, I am a peer counselor at the CareNet Center of Greater Orleans. I was joined at the conference with my friend Kurt Fullman, who is the other male peer counselor. And just thankful for the staff at CareNet for sending us to this. We met at Tony Evans Church, and what a privilege to be able to hear him preach. We heard Roland Warren, who is the president at CareNet, and he talked about this idea of pro-abundant life. And that's really where especially the guys come in, because you can't have an abundant life unless all the pieces are together. And so there's been an emphasis more lately of reaching out to the men, to the fathers. Maybe it's the father of someone who just found out that they're pregnant. Maybe it's a father who had been part of a past abortion, and they need healing from that. Some of the statistics that we heard were just upsetting, thinking about the fact that, if a man is part of a decision, or even isn't part of the decision, but their girlfriend or wife at the time has an abortion, that can impact all of their future relationships and the relationships they may have with future children, because there's that unresolved guilt that goes on. And so a lot of the conference was just kind of unpacking all of that. We worshiped together. We are his portion. He is our rise. We're drawn to redemption by the grace in his eyes. If grace is an ocean, we all sink in. No one's alive and stopping you. we laughed together. One of my favorite Christian comedians, Michael Jr., was there.
It was like a pandemic. Who's cracking? And here's what I learned from the pandemic, right? First thing I learned was apparently I'm not essential. This is the first thing I found out, is that I wasn't essential, man. And this whole time I thought I was, man. I was reading the Bible and stuff, man. The government was like, sit yourself down somewhere. And when it first happened, I wore my mask everywhere. I would always wear my mask. I would only take it off if I need to sneeze. That's the only time I would take it off in public. That's the best way to do it, man. And I'm excited, man. I got 5 kids. Yeah, man, it's awesome. And I travel a lot, so I can see them all. It's just, I'm just playing. I don't see them. No, I do. I got 5 kids, man. It's awesome. My son is here, as a matter of fact. I love that dude right there. That's my son right there. My son with whom I'm well pleased. That's my dude. So having 5 kids is a lot of work. Oh, the other thing about the pandemic I'm excited about, man, is like, I'm a hugger. I like hugging people. I like hugging people. Men, we hug, right? But we got some rules when we hug, don't we, fellas? They're like, yeah, we do. Any of y'all know the rules? Nope. You know why? Because we don't talk about them. If you're a man in here and you talk to another man about how you want to be hugged, raise your hand. Exactly, we don't talk about it. But there are rules. I'm going to share some of the rules with you. Y'all going to be like, yep, that's the rule. Rule number 1, the hug can only last 1.4 seconds. And you know the hug is over because of rule number 2. Every time we hug, what we do? We tap out. Tap, tap, release. Nobody taught you to tap out. You just know you're supposed to tap out. Tap, tap, release. Fellas, you ever tap out and they don't release? I'm like, tap, tap, bro. Tap, tap. I'm doing Morse code on this dude back. Tap, 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 let go, let go, let go. I tapped him so hard he burped. I'm like, dude, you need to let go, man. Another rule we have is left hand under, right hand over, tap out, release. Left hand under, right hand over, tap out, release. The fella's like, you sure that's the rule? Let me prove it to you. You ever have a dude try to go under? He can't go under. He go under, you gotta go over. Now y'all slow dancing. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You might as well lock your fingers. Lock your fingers. I just added that just now. I didn't even come up with that. There's 4 words you can say at the end of any amazing story, and people, they'll be blown back by it. Like, they'll believe the story. No matter, you use these 4 words, no matter what story you tell, they will believe it. I'm gonna tell you an amazing story right now. I met a lady who had a tail. I was at Walmart. You see what just happened in your head just now? He was like, no. I was at Walmart. Oh, yeah. I know her. Yeah. Why'd you say
that? And one of the neatest things that came out of his, because you'd think that he was just there to, bring the jokes, but he actually got pretty deep. And one of the things he did was he shown a video, and it was of his baby girl right after she was born, and she's laying on the table, and she's just, crying, screaming. And he just speaks a few words and says, baby girl, I'm here. You're okay. And you can tell she hears it, and she just kind of calms right down. And then a few minutes later, there's another video of him, and again, she starts to cry out. This time, he puts his finger where she can grasp it, and he says, baby girl, I love you. And when he does, she opens her eyes and looks toward him. And it was just a beautiful scene. But what it said to me was, for anyone that thinks that life only happens with that first breath, think again, because that baby had been listening to his voice, learning his voice the whole time that she was in the womb. She was alive. She was already being created in the image of God. And she already had a memory, an imprint from him. And that's why she reacted the way she did. And so I'm excited to be able to work with men who come to the center who want to be better fathers, who maybe want to know what's the right choice to make, and even, do I have a choice? You know, one of the things that was shared was that back when Roe versus Wade passed and kind of became the norm, what that meant for men was we didn't have a decision. You know, it was the woman's body, and so it was the woman's choice. And yet we know that the child is both the woman and the man's. And of course is God's as well. And so there was a big call to stand up and speak out. You know, one of the things they said was that, you know, at no other time in human history, when there was so much death on the line, did God tell men to go sit on the sidelines. And so he wasn't going to do the same now either. And so it was time for us to stop being silent. And I very much agree with that. And that is not, you know, some patriarchal, misogynist thing. There were women speaking at this conference as well. It's just the fact that a child, first and foremost, needs to live to have abundant life, but then also needs to have, if possible, both parents present in their life. Now, that's not always possible because of the situation. That's not always possible because there may be, you know, other risks and things involved, or maybe, you know, one of the parents doesn't want to be a part. But we should at least give them that choice and give the child that choice. And that means not just telling people don't have abortions, but actually saying, you know what? We need to come beside you. And if you're going to keep this child, we need to take away the stigma. We need to make sure that we're there to help you learn what it means to be a parent, you know, to help you with some of those things, you know, everything from how to change a diaper to supplying you with diapers. And I'm very proud to be a part of an organization that does that here in our community. CareNet Center of Greater Orleans. You can come in. You will be loved on. You will be welcomed, no matter whether or not you're already thinking about having an abortion or not. You can get an ultrasound. You can see your baby. You can hear the heartbeat. You can talk with someone. Leanne, who is the female client advocate and our supervisor, you know, she just has a heart for anyone, male or female, that are maybe finding themselves in this crisis, to let them know that it doesn't have to be a crisis, that someone will stand beside them. We have tons of clothes, we have tons of inventory, we have cribs. When clients come and they take parenting classes from us, or life skill classes, or other types of counseling, they earn blessing bucks that they can spend in the store, and you can get a lot for cheap. And so it's just one way for us to continue to impact lives and help them along the way. And we have those that have graduated from their classes, or who have had their child but still want to be a part. And so we're excited about that. And so, you know, even though pregnancy centers have traditionally been thought of as a place for women or a place for babies, I want you to know right now, it's also a place for guys. And so if you ever want to explore, you know, how to be a better father, if you ever want support, maybe you're a single father yourself, maybe you've had an abortion in the past and you need to talk with someone, it's time for you to start healing. I would invite you to come out. We're located in the plaza on the corner of Main and 31A, just down in between Subway and KFC. And so you can come and visit us there, or wherever you live. If you're watching this, if you go online, you can look up either CareNet or a Crisis Pregnancy Center and find one near you. But there were men, thousands from all over the U.S., who either had or were starting programs for men at their centers. And so I hope that as you reach out, it will continue to show them that there's a need and that we can provide for that. God bless. Have a great day.
Good morning. Welcome to this episode of Refill with Randy. Grab your favorite cat, pick it up. Let's start this day right together.